Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another anxiety themed video. I felt like we've got a big transition. If you guys are from the UK, we have a big change that we're kind of going through right now in terms of all the COVID restrictions, and I found my anxiety taking a bit of a left turn. I'm not gonna lie, it felt different, and I noticed I was getting really anxious, and I didn't really expect it, and it made me realise that if I was feeling like this, then I'm probably not the only one feeling like this. So I thought I would just sort of talk about it with you guys, because if I'm feeling it, then someone out there probably has some kind of similar feeling about this whole thing. So I just want to chat about it and show that if you're feeling like this, it's okay, and we can get through it. We'll get through it together. So here we go. Let's roll the intro. Okay, so I feel like there's probably a couple of different angles to this in terms of main triggers I can think of which could, leave us feeling quite anxious right now. So obviously the restrictions of lockdown are being eased. They have recently just been eased actually, so we can sort of meet outdoors, so like outdoor pubs and stuff like that. And I think it's a pretty big change. I mean, personally, I didn't really expect it. I thought that the biggest jump would be sort of like the May restriction, when stuff indoors is going to be open, like restaurants and stuff. But I feel like it's kind of, it's happened earlier than I expected, because shops are open, and I think I can speak for a few of us when I say that it feels like things are just getting a bit closer to normality right now. And don't get me wrong, that is amazing, and I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this for so long, just as I'm sure you guys have as well. But it comes with mixed emotions, and I feel like on social media and, when you talk about it with people, the main thing is just the excitement of, oh my gosh, like we're going back to normal, like things are happening, like we can start socialising, we can do stuff, and it's everything that we've been waiting for and that we've wanted. But I think we need to normalise the fact that it's not as simple as that. And although the restrictions may be being lifted, kind of suddenly in terms of it's an overnight change, that doesn't mean that we as people can adapt to that change overnight as well. And we need to keep that in mind and sort of be nice to ourselves with this, because I feel like everyone is getting very hyped about like, oh my god, we can do this, we can do that. Like, all that chat on social media about like, I swear I'm never going to say no to a motive again. And I was one of them people. I was like, listen, tell me a time, a place, and I will be there. I will be there. Like, I will never say no to a motive. And now I'm actually very shocked at the fact that my anxiety feels really heightened compared to what I expected. I didn't really see this coming. We can't adjust as quickly as we expect ourselves to sometimes. And as much as the positive, exciting side of lockdown being eased is being talked about on social media in terms of like, oh my gosh, yeah, motive, we also need to normalise the fact that it's not going to be as simple as that to bring ourselves to actually easily step back into reality and normality that we used to have. And it's going to take a bit of time, and it's not really going to be as easy as just saying yes to every motive. And that's what I've been feeling, and I wanted to talk about it. It's important to remember that we have been in a very new and scary position as a collective for over a year now. It's been a long time, and I don't think that anyone really expected it to be this drawn out when we first went into it in March last year. And I know that sometimes we have a tendency to be very hard on ourselves, and we don't realise that things can be a lot harder than they immediately seem. And I think that this is a very, very clear form of that. So I just want to put out there, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling worried about things going back to normal, don't feel like it's just you, because that's how I felt. And I know sometimes it can be like, it can sound a bit silly, like of course it's not just you, but sometimes when you don't understand the way you're feeling, it can feel like it is just you, and you feel a bit like, why am I feeling like this? Like, it doesn't really make sense. So firstly, I just want to say, if you're feeling anxious about it, if you feel a little bit like you don't want it to happen, like you're reluctant for this phase and you kind of felt safer and more comfortable under the restrictions, then don't feel guilty feeling that way. Don't feel like it's something that you should be ashamed of, or that is, you know, something that just you're feeling. Like, I think people feel it, but they're just not really saying it, which is why I wanted to share that I'm feeling that way. I think that there are so many different angles to this. We've become so used to just being in our own company, you know, surrounded by the four walls of our house, that breaking out of that is a really, really, really big adjustment. And we need to then accept that and deal with what is involved with the fact that it is a big change. You know, when everyone's so excited about the fact that we can do stuff and we can go out and we can see people again, I think the fact that there's just almost like a universal buzz around that, it can feel like some indirect pressure to also feel that way. And you feel like, oh my God, like that's how I should be feeling. Why am I not feeling that? Or even if you do sometimes, but it comes in waves, and then at other points it just kind of hits you and you feel like this wave of panic over you. That's what I want to talk about, and that's what is normal. And I think that we need to try and cope and deal with that, even if we feel like it's just us, or even if we feel like there's something wrong with us for sort of having that panicked feeling, because there's not. It's completely normal. We just need to learn how to navigate through that, and that's something that we can do collectively together. So from a health perspective, obviously there is a lot of anxiety surrounding going out, socializing, just having those bits of normality back again. So there's that angle of it where it's like, you know that when you're indoors, when you're in your house, when you're not mixing with people, when you're not going places, that you are as safe as you can be. You've not got that unknown sort of haunting you of the fact that there is this virus which is unfamiliar to us, right? Like, as humans, we fear the unknown. And that's what this has been when it came into our lives a year ago. Like, that's why there's been so much fear surrounding it in my mind, because it's been such a strong element of the unknown. And I think when you become so comfortable being inside, and you almost like, you make peace with sort of being a hermit a little bit. Like, that's the way that I see it. Like, I've become comfortable being a hermit, staying inside, doing what I need to do, staying in my very, very small circle, and I've been comfortable with that. And although it's also driven me crazy at times, and I've wanted to just break out of it and I felt trapped, at the same time I felt comfortable and I felt safe in that space. And to accept the reality that you now have to break out of that space is really difficult. It's really difficult just to process, and then to actually follow through and feel okay doing it, feel comfortable doing it, and not feel that anxiety taking over you. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And you know, it's going to take some time to adjust. We have a whole new lifestyle that we have to adapt to now. It's a new way of living with masks and sanitizing and having to think about that stuff way more than we did before, even though we probably should have before. But it's a whole new way of life, and it's so easy to enter the territory of paranoia and obsession, and it's understandable, and it's not just you, and it is a whole new way of living that we need to get used to. But that's the point. We can get used to it. It's just we're at the beginning stages of getting those bits of normality back. So we're at the very, very start of the process of getting used to a whole new life, and that needs to be given its credit. Like, it's a big deal, and it's going to take time, it's going to take adjustment, so be patient with yourself as long as you continue to take precautions, because we need to remember the virus hasn't gone away, right? Just because, you know, restrictions are being eased, It doesn't mean it's gone away, the threat is still there. It's just we are able to manage it better, we are in a better position than we were, but you still need to take precautions. But it's getting that balance where you are looking after yourself and the people around you and your health and everyone else's health, but you're also not stopping yourself from living your life. I think that is a new balance that we all need to try to strike, and it's going to be difficult. It's probably going to take some trial and error to find that middle ground, but we need to find it, and we will find it, but it's going to take time and patience. Now, the other side of it is probably the side that I would say has affected my mind the most so far, and it's the social anxiety side. I know that I am majority extrovert and I'm a very enthusiastic person, and I come on here, I make videos, and people think that is a massive thing, and if I had social anxiety then I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And I understand the logic there, like it makes sense, but it's also, it couldn't be further from the truth. It's a very personal, individual thing, and social anxiety affects people in different ways. And for me, doing this, coming here in front of you, talking in front of a camera and putting it up on the internet, doesn't seem daunting to me. I feel comfortable doing it, and I don't know, it's just besides the point. But that for me doesn't make me anxious. But I do have other aspects of social anxiety, and I do have quite a bit of introvert in me, even though it's not always so obvious. Sometimes even to me it shocks me when my more introverted side sort of makes an appearance. But I do have quite a few aspects of social anxiety. I'm not going to go into detail of all of them right now because that's not what the point of this video is, but it's there. And if I feel it, and I'm someone who a lot of people would assume definitely does not have social anxiety, then I can only imagine the number of people that are really, really struggling with this side of, lockdown restrictions being eased. There's one angle, which is social interaction, like generally like speaking to people and engaging with people again, whether it's people that you know and are close to, or whether it's, strangers that you have to kind of communicate with when you're shopping or when you're doing whatever. Regardless, it's been so long that we have not really had to do that, or just little bits here and there, that it's almost like we have adapted to a world where we don't really have to do that so much. So, it's normal to overthink things so much and get anxious about just simple things that we used to just not really give a second thought about, like having those kind of interactions. Again, it's normal. So if you're feeling like that, just give yourself time, and you will slowly start to settle into the routine of doing that, because we lived however many years of doing that and we're able to do it and we're good and we can get back to that. Again, like I said, it's just going to take time. But with me, it's less that side of it, and it's more so I feel like this is a less obvious side of how what's going on right now could trigger anxiety. But if I've got it and it's something I've consistently had an issue with, then I definitely can't be the only one. Like, surely not. So I'm going to talk about it. So I have mentioned in the past, in like my anxiety videos, an aspect of my anxiety, and that is, I'm just going to touch on it briefly. I get very anxious in unfamiliar places that I've not been to, or that I don't know. It's weird. I've never really fully got to the bottom of what that is really linked to from a psychological perspective, but I feel isolated. I feel uneasy, uncomfortable, anxious, alone, on edge. I feel I could be with the people that are just my closest, and I still could not feel further away from them when I am in somewhere that I've not been to. And I think the main example that I'd given when I've spoken about this before on my channel is on holiday, like when I go abroad. The first couple of days I struggle quite a lot, and the people I'm with often notice that I'm a lot quieter, and it's because my anxiety is going through the roof, and I'm trying to control it, I'm trying to get a lock on it. But it does also, when it's kind of at its most heightened, I also feel it when I go anywhere that I've not been before. Even if it's like a restaurant that I've not been before. It's crazy because it sounds, I don't know, it's, I don't understand it, I don't get where it comes from, but that is something that I have struggled with in the past, and I got control over that, quite a significant amount of control over it, and it got better. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought I had squashed it, but as I've said many times before, it's a continuous effort that you need to put in to like keep your anxious tendencies at bay, and the things that are triggers for you, they can come up when you think that you are past them, and that's what's happening with me. And this whole lockdown restrictions being eased is triggering that, and it's bringing up old habits, not just this one, but also my overthinking and other, I'm not going to go into it, but other things that I struggle with have sort of been heightened. And although other things have been eased, it's weird because a lot of these things have been worse being stuck inside. So now that I'm not stuck inside, some parts are getting better, but other parts that were okay are being triggered, which I didn't expect. And this unfamiliar places thing just seems so heightened right now, and I don't know why. But it's obviously because it's been a long time since I've had to go out and be in places that I'm not normally. And I think where I've been inside, I mean, I've been furloughed, so it's not like I've been working and I've had that. I have been working for you guys, I've been doing the content stuff, but that's through the four walls of my room, you know? Like, I've been inside so much, and my family, we've also been shielding. So we've really been very much just keeping to ourselves and not doing anything, not going anywhere. And now going places, I'm noticing that I want to go to places that I've been to loads of times before. Like outdoor, you know, like whether it's pubs, restaurants, whatever, stuff that's outdoors. I want to go to places that I've been before. And the thought of going to places that are new brings up those old feelings and those old those feelings of just being on edge. And I didn't expect it because I thought it was in the past, but it makes sense after like so much time of just being inside. You get used to it, and I've got used to it, and now it's harder to, it's like I have to force myself a little bit more to be like, no, like go out. I could see myself making excuses to, you know, not go to motives. I could see myself doing that, I really could. And I had this conversation with my mum, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I was crying to her, and I was like, I could see myself pushing things and people away because I'm just so afraid of all of that anxiety coming back now. Like I'm comfortable being inside, I'm comfortable in this life now, and although it also has its difficulties which are fresh, I've also got used to how to manage them, and now it's a whole new set of anxieties and things that are making me feel so uncomfortable now that things are changing again. And I am now going through a process where I am trying to not force myself in a, you know, fully forced, but I'm trying to just make sure that I don't get too comfortable being a hermit, essentially. And I'm trying to, you know, in a healthy way, force myself to go out and do things that I would normally really enjoy, but I'm also taking it step by step. You know, I think a key is to not fit in too many plans over you know, a concentrated amount of time. I think that with the excitement, it's easy to be like, oh my god, okay, like what days are you not working or whatever, like let's book something in this day, this day, this day. And especially now that a lot of stuff you need to book in advance, you can't just stroll in on the day, you have to book stuff. So you have to do it in advance. Like I did this, I booked in so much stuff, but it's like you need to also make sure that, you know, if you do feel a little bit, if part of you feels anxious about stuff, don't do too many, kind of like ease yourself into it. You don't want to go from 0 to 100 because as humans, we're not used to making such abrupt changes so suddenly to the way that we live and the way that we work, because it has an effect on our body, our mind, our everything. So just like that, in the same way, even though we suddenly can overnight do a lot of things, it doesn't mean that you should suddenly go out and do a lot of things, because that might make it a little bit harder, you know, if you feel like you are already anxious about it. Ease yourself into it. Don't do none and don't go over the top. Take it day by day. And if you feel like you're enjoying it and the anxiety is, you know, a little bit more suppressed, then be like, okay, cool, like I'm starting to get more comfortable with it. Even I am already starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with the idea now that it's been a little bit of time. It's not even been that long, but I'm slowly getting more and more comfortable with it. So I just want to say, if you are someone that can relate to what I just said, firstly, I would really appreciate if you would let me know, because I've recently found one person who can relate to part of what I feel when I go to unfamiliar places and things, but not someone who struggles with the same things. If you are someone, I would appreciate it if you feel comfortable to reach out to me, let me know. But also know that it's alright, and we can get through this, whether it's this form of anxiety or it's a different form of anxiety related to lockdown restrictions easing and just a whole new way of life. Regardless of whatever form of anxiety you're feeling about this, we as a collective can get past this. We can adjust, we will grow to get used to it again, and it's going to take some time. We need to be patient with ourselves, but we can get there. And just know that you're not the only person feeling this or struggling with this or trying to work this out. Sometimes when you don't understand it, you can be a bit, you know, like impatient with yourself, like what, like this doesn't make sense, like why am I not feeling, you know, like everyone else is feeling? And when the people around you don't share that same feeling as you, it can make you feel even more alienated, which can add to the anxiety and really not help the situation. So just know that it's not just you, and just give yourself time, be patient, and you will slowly adjust, because that is the way that we are made to work, right? We adjust slowly to things, and it's what will happen, even if it feels like right now like such a big thing to accomplish. You will. We all will, and we will get there, and just know that it's not just you. But anyway, guys, that is everything that I sort of wanted to discuss in this video. I hope that it made you guys out there feel a little bit more comfortable to know that it's not just you, and I hope that I eased your feelings of anxiety a little bit by knowing that it's not just you. But anyway, drop a comment down below. Let's get a little support system going in the comments for anyone that is struggling or feels like they can relate to this. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you guys so much love and strength and positivity. You've got this. Stay smiling, stay safe, stay positive. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye guys.